Okay, hello. Welcome to You Know Me with Doug. Today I'm going to do something explicitly particular. I'm going to talk with anyone, and I welcome questions and thoughts, of course, but I'm talking with people who want to know how to read the Bible. And when I say read the Bible, and I mean read the Bible well, I don't mean with the precision and an articulation of a scholar or a collegiate studier. I don't mean in the original Hebrew or in the Greek translation, the Septuagint. I don't mean the the Apocrypha. Oh no, only the canon of the Bible. I don't mean the Talmud or the Torah. I don't mean these things. I mean the regular English translated Bible. And I want to talk with people about this because I personally have struggled over the years figuring out how to do it. And I know there is better ways and worse ways to do it. And so I hope that if this idea interests you, you'll follow along with me. I have some ideas and suggestions that might be helpful. You can pick and take what you want. Toss if it's not good for you, but please keep it and try to utilize it if it is. A couple of things I want to talk about in like a bullet form here is ways to read the Bible. One of them is relationally. And I say freely with no judgment. Simply. When it makes sense. Whenever it's possible for you. And encouragingly. Those are very... But let's start with the basics. If you're going to read a Bible, if you want to read the Bible, if you want to do better, what Bible should you get? What translation? I'm not going to sit here and argue with which one's best. Because here's the thing. It's like a bicycle. What is, in this case, the best Bible, like, in the entire world that you could ever have? Well, anyone, actually everyone. What is the best Bible everyone in the entirety of the world could have? It's the one you'll read. It could be a Gideon Bible from your cheapo hotel that you stayed in last night. It could be a big whammy of a study Bible you paid a couple $100 for. It could be a personal Bible. This is my personal Bible. The one I always go to, right? So you see how it's fading and the edges are coming undone. The text in the back is coming off. If you can see like weird tracy lines on here, it's because I've actually tried to put a kind of glue on here to preserve the cover. I mean, seriously, I've made this thing my own. I got these special letters to make it say be with and know his love. I've got my name over here in stickers. You know, I've got all kinds of things. I'm sorry, guys, the cat's up here, so you're gonna have to deal with me if the cat bothers us. But I'm not gonna try to be mean. Kitty, you need to go. I love you, but you're not great for this. No, we're gonna deal with this as we come. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, I know. I know. So, but here's a little Bible. Now, this is kind of a thick, chunky personal Bible. And the text is small. Sometimes that's not great for hard to see eyes. This is a study Bible, a personal size. I don't happen to have a full size, but as you can see when you're opening up, the text is super small. But there's commentary down here. Sometimes you want something that looks a little artsy, like I love gilded edges and colors. And this also happens to be a journaling Bible. So there's lines on the edges. You can take notes and write whatever you want about it. Here's another one. Same kind of style. Different coloration. but a journal Bible. Here's another personal size compact Bible. It's a little bigger than the one I normally carry. This is supposed to be the successor to this, honestly. But it's got slightly larger text than this one, and because it's bigger, it's a little thinner. You've got Bibles like this, where it's, as you'll see for me, I have it custom engraved with my name on here, and it's made of cow skin leather. It's very soft. I've got it indexed to boot, so you can just look at the indexes here and be like, where's the Book of Psalms? Ah, here we go. Book of Psalms. Anyway, and then you can even have nice looking simple ones. Like this is just a plain red letter Bible, 2 columns. The text is kind of big, it's kind of nice. But the point is, out of all of these Bibles, the one that you're going to do best with is the one you're going to read. The one that you'll actually spend the time with. So, I want to encourage you, if you want to read the Bible, to find one you like. And I don't mean the words. The words are important. The words will come. But for now, you just need to get one that you're going to look at and you're like, oh, that's mine. Or, oh, I like to look at that. Or something perhaps simple and even kind of secular sounding. Like, you need a good looking Bible that you want to pick up. You want to reach for it. That's kind of the starting thing. All right? And if you're like me, as a Christian, you've come to know that being in the faith and walking in the way as a Christian is really about knowing Jesus Christ. It's about having a relationship with Him. And I've been a Christian for 15 years now, roughly, give or take. I wasn't until I moved here to Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. But it happened. God has His ways. And I realized rather quickly that there are certain ways in which God utilizes the creation He has made to engage us. Because here's the thing. We love Jesus, but He's not right here in the flesh. He's in heaven, sitting at the right hand of God in the flesh. He's coming back, but He's not here yet. And why is that important? Because to be relational, you need to know what it's like to be with a person. You need to know what it's like to be human. You need to know what it's like to be cared for as a human being of worth and intrinsic value. And it's hard to do that when there isn't a body around to show you. But here's where other people come into play. Mother and father, church body. They all have a place to care for us and show us the love of Christ. And in some way, shape, or form, fallen although be Jesus with skin on. So there is that. But then there's this. His word. I believe the Bible is true. And I believe the Bible, we call it inerrant. It's without error. It's infallible, it's perfect, and it's inerrant. There's no error in it whatsoever. And it's adequate for instructing in life. So, as it says in Hebrews, though, Hebrews 1, long ago God spoke to the fathers by the prophets in the Old Testament at different times and in different ways. In these last days, New Testament days, He has spoken to us by His Son. That's Jesus. God has appointed Himself heir of all things and made the universe through Him. The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact expression of His nature, sustaining all things by His powerful word. After making purification for sins, He sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, Jesus in heaven. So He became superior to the angels, just as the name He inherited is more excellent than theirs. So, what I'm trying to get at, although in a kind of roundabout way, is to know Jesus, To be in relationship with God, you have to know Jesus. Jesus is a person, but he's not a physically right here in front of us, right now kind of person. He is in here, though. I struggle to say we need to use our imaginations, but in a sense, we kind of do. Like, we need to know that the words in here come from the goodness of God, the sovereign and the almighty, that these represent Jesus in a real and true way. And that is my motivation. Because I know I am never going to be better. I'm never going to do more in any exceedingly great way unless I relate to Jesus Christ. Unless I am about the business, as I like to say, of being with him. Because we are not human doings. We are human beings. We be before we ever do, and it is important to know how we be. So, when you want to read a Bible, you got to have one you're going to pick up. You got to understand and believe it's the Word of God. You've got to be going to it, looking for something, looking for the relationship, looking for the freedom, looking for the truth, looking for the understanding, looking for the knowledge. You've got to be wanting and desiring these things in a way that you're trying to find it in here, right? And that's about the relationship. Like, I don't want to say, in a sense, you even need to believe this is an errant or infallible, because that sets up a roadblock. What you need to do is, when you have it, open it, and you need to read it. And that's where I started to get into trouble. Because if you're like me, you open up a Bible, and this has some marks in it, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of blank pages with text on them, basically. Like, I opened this, and sure, there's words on these pages, but it might as well be a book of blank pages, because all the pages with all the words on them there is completely overwhelming. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to look for. I don't know where to go. I don't know why. And it just adds on. It gets stressing. It gets taxing. Makes me anxious. And then I'm like, no, I won't even do it. And then I don't read it. So we got to understand that it's a time process. It takes time. So with this Bible, this is why it's my go-to, my precious. I've been spending years. I got this Bible in, actually, this month. Yesterday, 2019. So it's like 20. I'm not good at math, baby. 2019. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 26. This Bible's 7 years old, okay? So it's been 7 years since I started doing these things with it. And in 7 years, I've been going through piece by piece, moment by moment, time by time, second by second. And I've been finding as I read things I like and highlighting them. I personally have a color code system that I highlight things with. And I don't make it difficult. It's not rocket science. It's not something that I have to look to the front of the book for every single time so I can remember, what's this color? What do I want to do with that color? Where does this go? It's a memory thing based on feeling. I could explain it to you, but this video is already long enough, so you can probably figure that out for yourself if you really want to. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you have a Bible and you don't know what to read, you can do things like get a reading plan or a devotional. But if you're like me, it's really hard to stick to them. It's hard to be disciplined with a devotional, whether it's a physical book or a digital one on your phone. And I found when I would open the Bible and read, I would get something read. And so I knew that if I highlighted things, the more I highlighted, the more specifically I highlighted, I would open it up and I would find things that I would know, oh, I thought this was good. I should read this. Or, oh, that's that color? I'm all about that today. I want to read that. So I think it's important to be about reading a Bible in a way that helps us understand and points us in direction. Understand and points us in the direction we need to go. And we need to make that as simple and as easy as possible, because if you build guardrails, or if you build mountains, or if you build fences, that's bad analogy. So if you build fences, you're probably just going to want to stay on one side. You're probably not going to want to cross over and read it, you know? And that can look like different things for different people. For me, it's a good-looking Bible with highlights that I've read over time that I can just flip to and open, understanding that I'll know God better by doing it. So, now we're talking about time. When do you read the Bible? I personally have very hard mornings. It is very difficult for me to get up in the morning. And I find oftentimes in my emotional ways, I will be crying out to God in the morning. I literally have most of my ball fest every single day in the morning. And it's because I need Jesus. And I go to his word and I find him. But it can be at nighttime. It can be in the middle of the day. It can be while you're sitting at the restaurant eating your lunch. Like, it doesn't have to be any particular place or any particular time, because the best Bible you can have is the one you read, and the best time you can ever read is the time you sit down and open it, or you get it on your phone, although I'm a big believer in tangibility and I can't remember the word, but analog things. There you go. Having a physical Bible is really important. Not dissing the phones, not telling you don't have on your phone, but have both, please. So it's up to you to figure that out, though. Like, give yourself the freedom to read whenever. And here's the thing. You gotta do it freely with no judgment. And what I mean is, a lot of people, like in my Reform circles, it's not uncommon to be like, okay, we gotta have a Bible plan. You know, we need to know when our devotional time is gonna be. We need to make sure it's X amount of minutes, and we need to make sure it's at this time every day. We need to make sure the situation is right, the lighting is right. We need to make sure we have our coffee ready, and we're able to sit at the table with no distractions. Our phone's got to be muted. We got to have our devotional ready so we know where to go, and we can have our supplemental material so we can exercise our mind and knowledge, and we gotta do this. And the problem is, I've just set up all these stipulations, all these rules and regulations, these have-tos, shoulda, woulda, couldas, that prohibit me from actually just sitting down and reading. So, it's more important to read something than it is to read nothing. And as I like to say, something is always something, and something is always more than nothing. I mean it literally. If you have a Bible, and you open that Bible up, and you have no highlights, and I'm going to read a highlight of mine, but you just open up to Psalm 54, and you're like, what's verse 4 say? God is my helper. The Lord is the sustainer of my life. And that hits you. You close that Bible, you think about it, you meditate on it, you do prayer about it. Even if you don't do those things, if you just read it, one verse, one chapter, one book, 10 or less seconds, man, it counts. It counts. Give yourself the grace that God will give you to know that even if you didn't do a lot, you did something, and it counts. He rewards those who seek him. As it says in Jeremiah 29:13, you will find me when you seek me with all your heart. I promise you will find me when you seek me with all your heart. So, desire is a very key thing. If you don't want him, you really won't get him. Not the same. As the bumper sticker I once read says, seek nothing, find nothing. Okay. So I don't know if this has been the best. I'm really being kind of flippant here with the way I have talked about this. But I just want to ultimately instill in you that the Bible is good. God is good. So if the Bible itself is causing you to feel bad, or to feel angry, or to have some adversarial, negatively induced emotions, please give yourself grace. Because if God is good, it's not because he's being bad or mean or rude, or you're having a bad time. There's probably a simple misunderstanding, and that can usually be solved with good conversation and prayer and going to him in surrender. So please, when you read the Bible, let yourself be encouraged. Let yourself be wooed by God, allured into his winsome embrace. Know that he is a person wrapped up in these words in this binding. It's not just a book, because the moment it's just a book is the moment it is no longer important. Give yourself the freedom to have no judgment about how you read, when you read, what you read, even if you read. Just try to be consistent. Try your best. It really does matter. It really does matter. And so with that, I'm going to take a break, and I hope that this meets someone well and good, and that you'll engage me with questions if you have them. But for now, I'm going to let it be. Take care. Have a good day.